guys, in this video we are going to compute probably one of the hardest cases here, which is a triple integral over a tetrahedron of x. Now the tetrahedron has vertices 0, 0, 0, so it goes through the origin. Also the x-intercept is 1/8, the y-intercept is 1/4, and the z-intercept is 1. First, let me show you how to set up the limits over this tetrahedron. It's actually not that difficult, but you do need to practice. One thing to remember, just to memorize, is that, oops, what did I do? Here is going to be y, here is going to be z. Okay, so the bottom limits will be zeros. That's one thing to remember. Second, because we are trying to compute the integral of x, the integrand is going to be x. Now, if they said find the volume of a tetrahedron, then it will be integration of 1. So then you would put 1 over here. But because it says integrate x, that's what I put. Now, to figure out the x limit is actually very easy. You just have to look at the x-intercept, and x-intercept is 1/8. So that's going to be here. Then what you need is go ahead and figure out what is going to be the equation of the plane that has these intercepts. So like 1/8, 1/4, and 1 respectively for x, y, and z intercepts. So general equation looks like this. So you have to take x divided by the x-intercept, which is going to be 1/8, plus, of course, this only works if it's intercepts, y divided by the y-intercept, plus z divided by the z-intercept, which is 1, equals 1. This is the equation of a plane given intercepts. So this plane goes through 1/8 over here, 1/4 will be over here, and maybe somewhere over here will be 1. So this is your tetrahedron. So it consists of this triangle, right? And also the triangles that are part of the coordinate axis, xy, xz, yz, right? Okay, so that would be the equation of the plane, and then you have to solve this for z. So if you were to solve this for z, and because z divided by 1 is just z, this will become 1 minus. Now, when you divide by 1/8, it's the same as multiplying by 8, and then dividing by 1/4 is the same as multiplying by 4. So I think this would be the top surface, right? So we set up the limits. When we set up the limits, we go from the bottom surface, which is just xy plane. So that'll be 0. That's z equals 0. To the top surface, which is that slanted triangle. So that would be 1 minus 8x minus 4y. Now, over here, this is the projection of this tetrahedron to the xy plane, but that is that purple triangle, right? And x, we already see that it goes from 0 to 1/8. So we just have to figure out what are going to be our middle limits. Now, to figure that out, notice something important. If you wanted to find the equation of this line right here, because when you set up the limits over a two-dimensional region, so here we get 1/8 somewhere, and then here somewhere we get 1/4. And this would be your green line right there, right? So we need the equation. And that's going to be like bottom curve here to top curve here. So bottom curve is 0, but top curve is that green line. Now, to find its equation, it's very easy. From the equation of the plane, notice that the green line is actually part of this plane, the plane, right, the slanted triangle, when z equals 0. So if you were to set z equals 0, you will get 8x plus 4y equals 1. Now, solving that for y will give you 4y equals 1 minus 8x. So y will be 1/4 minus 2x. So that's going to be your middle limit. So that will go in here. Let me put that in here. So this would be 1/4 minus 2x. And then this one, as we already figured out, is 1 minus 8x minus 4y. Okay, so once we do that, then we're going to compute each part separately. So let me compute the whole thing. So this is going to be x dz dy dx. Okay, so let's first compute the inside integral. So this would be So let me still keep the limits. So this would be 1/4 minus 2x. Now, integral of x with respect to z will just be xz, right? And then we substitute z equals 0, z equals 1 minus 8x minus 4y, and then we still have dy dx. Okay, so let's substitute. First, let's substitute z equal 1 minus 8x minus 4y. So, and then everything will be multiplied by x. So this will be x minus 8x squared minus 4xy. Okay, so we did the integration because when you substitute z equals 0, obviously that's going to be 0. Okay, now let's do the middle integral. So that's going to become, so integral of x with respect to y will be xy. Then x squared, 8x squared will be 8x squared y. Then 4xy, y is y squared over 2, so that's going to become 2xy squared. And then we substitute y equals 0, y equals 1/4 minus 2x. And so that's still dx here. Now let's see if we can fill out this part. So this I think is x minus 8x squared minus 4xy. Okay, now we're going to compute the middle integral. So I just have to substitute the limits and simplify, which is going to take me forever, but that part I have to do next. Okay, so we've got, instead of y, I'm going to substitute 1/4 minus 2x. So hopefully some things will cancel here. We'll see. And then this is minus 2x, and then I'm substituting 1/4 minus 2x, and the whole thing is squared. Okay, so let's distribute here. This will be 1/4 x minus 2x squared. Then here minus another 2x squared plus 8 times 2 is 16x cubed. Now, for this term, remember the formula for a minus b squared. This is a squared, so this will be 1 over 16. Minus 2ab, so this will be 2 times 1/4 times 2, which is just 1, x, and then plus b squared, that would be plus 4x squared. Okay. Let's see if we can simplify this further. So remember, do not ever move one until you completely simplify. So you get 1/4 x minus, let me combine these two into 4x squared plus 16x cubed. And then we have minus 1/8 x plus 2x squared. And then minus 8x cubed. Okay, so finally, let's see if we can combine like terms. So I got 16x cubed minus 8x cubed. That's 8x cubed. Then I have negative 4x squared plus 2x squared. That's minus 2x squared. And then I got 1/4 x minus 1/8 x. That's plus 1/8 x. Okay, so that would be the middle integral. So I got 8x cubed minus 2x squared, and then I had plus 1/8 x. Okay. And finally, we're just going to compute the outside integral. So that part should not be too bad. So we've got 8. Now x cubed is 1/4, and then I have 1/8 cubed. No, sorry, to the power 4, right? To the power 4. Then minus 2/3 x cubed. So this would be 1/8 cubed plus 1/8. And then instead of x, it's going to be x squared over 2. So this would be 1/8 squared. And then I still have 1 over 2. So this will be 2 here. Okay, it's time to use our calculator. Let's see if we can compute this whole thing. Okay, so I've got 8 times 1/4 times 1/8 to the power 4 minus 2/3, 1/8 to the power 3, and then plus 1 over 16, 1/8 squared. Okay, I got some answer. I have absolutely no idea if that's right. Okay, I don't know. Wow, this was something.